Hello, peace seekers. This is Saniqua White popping in to give you a piece of my mind that will hopefully give you some peace of mind. So, today I want to talk about forgiveness. Most people don't want to hear about forgiveness, especially when we're holding grudges and somebody has done us wrong. So, listen, I'm not saying you're going to forget that you're really not trying to let that person off the hook. I know, but the forgiveness I'm talking about is more for you than anything else. It's about letting you off the hook. Because when you don't forgive, that person has some power over your life that they don't even know they have sometimes. Because the people you're mad at, often they don't even know you're mad at them. And if they did, they didn't care. So listen, forgiveness is about your peace and giving you peace of mind, not allowing someone to have control and power over you, because unforgiveness keeps us tied to that person or to that situation that we haven't forgotten or forgiven. And you won't forget it, but you can forgive it. And I know you've heard this already, but forgiveness doesn't grant access to your life. So if there's a person who's betrayed you or hurt you deeply, just because you forgive them doesn't mean they get to come back into your inner circle. That's not what forgiveness is about at all. You still have to think about it this way. Say, for instance, you were in a very tumultuous, possibly abusive relationship. You went through all this stuff, 10 years or so maybe, and you got out of the relationship. So now you're physically free. You're emotionally and mentally still connected to that relationship and to that person, though, because you haven't healed and you haven't forgiven. So you can forgive the person who hurt you in that relationship. But that does not mean you still don't need to heal from that 10-year span of damage that the relationship caused. So now we're talking about two different things. Forgiving the person who hurt you lets you off the hook so that you can have the freedom to heal. If you still are on the hook with that person or for that person, every time you try to get better, your thoughts go back to what they did. Your emotions go back to what they did. Now you're angry. Now you're sad. Now you're going through all of these emotions. You may even be going through the grieving process for the parts of the relationship that you remember that were good, if there were any. And I'm sure there were some, or you probably wouldn't have gotten into the relationship in the first place. So it might have been in year one and you had 9 years of horrible, but sometimes your mind will try to pull you back to year one when there were good things. But if you stay connected to that person in any type of way, especially with unforgiveness, every time you try to make a few steps towards healing and being delivered out of that and changing your mindset away from that, that string, that rope that's still connected to them pulls you back. So you either have a harder time trying to heal or you just don't get to the healing process. You get to a point where you start numbing the pain instead of dealing with it. And numbing pain and emotions, you don't get to choose which ones you numb. If you numb sadness, then you also numb happiness. See how that works? So you may still feel some things, but you don't get the full range of what you might feel. So it's like you have to allow those icky feelings in order to have the great ones. If you start numbing rather than releasing, you're doing damage to your life. You might think you're living your best life because you got away from the situation, but you're really not, because you don't feel. You're numb to feeling. When people come over all excited or tell you something so excited, all you can do is say, "Oh, That's nice. You mean it, but you can't even get excited because you've numbed pain. On the other end of excited is probably really bummed. So if you numbed yourself from being really bummed, you've also numbed yourself from being really excited. You see how that works? So you're going through your life, you're okay, but you're kind of meh. Everything's whatever. Everything's fine. I'm okay. You don't have any highs because you're not allowing yourself to have the lows either. No one wants to feel the lows. I get it. But the reason you have the lows is likely because you've been hurt. So if you will deal with the hurt, the actual pain, and release it, resolve it, get it out of your way, then you can experience the highs where you can be excited for yourself and other people. You can experience joy for yourself and other people without an issue. So what I'm saying is, it's okay to have those feelings. We understand that everyone has those feelings, but you have to deal with them. You don't want to numb those feelings. You have to forgive so that you can literally move away from that with all of you intact. If you don't forgive, you're leaving pieces of yourself everywhere there's unforgiveness. You need all your pieces. So start giving out forgiveness. Whether you tell the person you're forgiven or not, you need to do this process for yourself and name the issue. What are you forgiving them for? Don't just say, oh, I forgive you, or he's forgiven. It's fine, whatever. Name it. What did they do to cause the unforgiveness? You can be that honest because something happened. You don't have to deny that something happened. Name it. If they hit you, you can say, I forgive you for hitting me, for putting your hands on me. I forgive you. Now, I'm not necessarily talking to that person because I wouldn't recommend getting face to face with that person ever if they put their hands on you. But you can do this. You can write it. You can say it out loud. You can go to therapy. You can have a coach. You can say, I forgive you for hitting me, or whatever the thing was that caused your unforgiveness. Name it and forgive them for it, because that's your way of releasing it. And then you can heal from the pain of the physical issue and then the pain emotionally that it caused you. So think about forgiveness in that way for yourself as a release. Now you're no longer tied to that person or that situation in that way. Okay? Do it for yourself, not for anybody else. If you like the content in this video, give it a thumbs up, comment. I'll be back soon with some more good stuff. Until then, be proactive about your mental health, be well, and God bless.